Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Go over and get you a free audiobook 30-day free trial over at www.audibletrial.com/nerdcave. You can be picking up Timothy Zahn's new book, Thrawn. It's freaking awesome. Or you can get Ahsoka. You can get all these Star Wars books because everybody loves Star Wars. If you don't love Star Wars, what are you doing with your life? There's over 180,000 titles, though, to choose from. You can get it on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle. And if you have an MP3 player and what are you doing with your life, you can get that there as well. So go over to audibletrial.com/nerdcave and grab you one of those new books. Get smart. We read at the Nerd Cave. We read. Build it beautiful.
Let's move on to the story that I have been excited for the most to talk about.
What would that be?
We grew up in the 90s.
We did.
We loved ourselves some 90s Nickelodeon.
Definitely.
Now, I don't know about you, but my favorite cartoon from Nickelodeon was Rocko's Modern Life.
I still remember one of my favorite episodes was when it was like just ungodly hot and they were trying to go and find places where they could cool off. Rocko was just one of those great shows that you had adult themed things, but it was so like it was hard for kids to pick up on it. Like watching it now, you're just like,
there's so much innuendo.
Oh wow! But as kids, you didn't notice it. And I like shows like that to where the parents can get something out of it and the kids can get something out of it.
Well, adults can relate to it as well because it's basically Rocko and these other characters adjusting to life.
Yeah.
So there's actually some very smart writing and very smart plot lines.
Yeah.
There's some very crude stuff in there too.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a very, very good show.
Speaking of plot lines, Derek, tell us what this one's going to be
So this has been known for a while that Rocko is coming back with a one-off TV movie in 2018. Well, the title and the plot line have been released, and this is from entertainmentweekly.com. The original voice cast members who brought Rocko, Heifer, Filbert, and the rest of O-Town to life will reunite for Nickelodeon's forthcoming one-hour TV special, Rocko's Modern Life, Static Cling. And it's EW.com, by the way, not Entertainment Weekly. The one-off TV reboot will premiere on Nickelodeon in 2018, written and executive produced by series creator Joe Murray. Reprising their roles, I'll be really quick with these, are Carlos Alizaraki, former Derek Diamond Experience guest, as Rocko, Spunky, and Leon the Chameleon. The original voice of Heifer, Filbert, the Big Heads, Heifer's parents, all in all, and a couple of new people have joined as well. According to Nickelodeon, the TV special brings the characters back to Earth after being lost in outer space since 1996. Rocko has trouble accepting this 21st century modern life, while Heifer and Filbert embrace every aspect of new technology, social media, and the endless diversity of food trucks. Rocko wholeheartedly believes that his nostalgia for the past can save him from the tortures of the modern world. Genius.
Because it ended in 96. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's simple, but it is beautiful. Because you really don't have to do much with trying to figure out, all right, how do we bring them back? Outer space, I mean, hey, it works.
It's something that would happen in the show.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, watching it, you would not even bat an eyelash if they got in a rocket and flew to space. I mean, it was just that, not outlandish, but it was just that cool of a show. And having all like Al Zaraki and everybody, because met him, super awesome guy. Just having all of them back to do this, I'm just so excited for this because I loved it. I like on my 360, I'd like bought like the first season of it, so I'd watch it over and over and over and over and over again. So, bring on Rocko.
It's crazy how this whole nostalgia of 90s things is bringing all these things back. Like we're getting games remastered, like the Crash Bandicoot trilogy that's coming out, Rocko movie. There's also going to be a Hey Arnold movie this fall. I don't know if you were into Hey Arnold or not, but
I love the football head.
Move it, football head. And then there's supposed to be some movie sometime in the future where they bring back like Rocko, the Angry Beavers,
Angry Beavers.
I think Rugrats, and several other 90s Nickelodeon cartoons, and they're all going to be in the same movie and all meet each other for the first time.
See, why couldn't we do that back in the 90s?
I have no idea.
It's such a great idea. I love the Angry Beavers.
Angry Beavers.
Actually, my watching TV as a child helped our trivia team a few weeks ago. They were talking about, like, there are two, and they talked about the show a little bit, and they asked the question of, they said one of their names, and I was like, they were like, it's this. I'm like, guys, it's like I'm telling you. It's like, it's Angry Beavers. They're like, are you sure? I was like, I'm 100% sure. I was like, I don't know how sure this guy is saying the another answer. And they were like, all right, they put it in. And I was like, you doubted me. But I got it right.
Was it the name of the Angry Beavers?
No, it was just that, like, what movie? What cartoon was this? And they kind of spat out a few details that know, it could have been something else. But I was like, no. It's like, it's Angry Beavers.
Yeah. But this whole Rocko thing, this was a show that I actually, even my mom watched with me. Like, our favorite episode, I don't know if you remember this one, but it was Rocko was, like, broke, had no money, and needed food. And at the local grocery store, they had a 99.9% off sale of everything in the store. So he grabs Spunky, goes to the supermarket, gets all his stuff, but things keep happening to delay him getting to the checkout. And Filbert is the checkout clerk. And right before he hits, the final total button or whatever you call it, it hits noon because that's when the sale ends. And it goes to like an unreal amount of money. And Rocko just loses his mind and just goes off on Filbert. And he's like, that'll be $1.50, please. And he changes the total. So he got all this food for like really cheap.
I do remember that episode vaguely. But I mean, there's tons of just great episodes from that show. Mm-hmm. Happy they're bringing it back, and I couldn't think of a better way to bring it back.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll lead to coming back as like a full-time show.
Yeah.
But even just bringing it back as a movie, I think is really cool because that'll be something that I'll make it a point to watch.
Definitely.
Because I was even going back, right around Pensacon and watching some of the old episodes, and I was like, this was a really good show.
It was. I think it was ahead of its time, too, with a lot of things.
Yeah, it's definitely on my top 5 list as far as favorite cartoons go. But speaking of other shows, you and I finally saw the season 5 finale of Arrow.
Hey, kid.
Oh, my God.
Manu.
When that happened, I mean, it's no spoiler that Manu Bennett came back as Deathstroke.
Yeah,
I mean, that was announced very publicly. But the episode before the finale, when Oliver goes back to Lee and you see him.
Spoilers are coming.
Yes.
So just if you don't want to hear anything about Arrow, just
fast forward like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Yeah. So anyway, he goes back to Lee and you. As soon as he's in that prison area, I'm like,
oh God, oh God, oh God.
And then he says, I need your help. And it cuts to inside the cell and you see him, like his head's turned. And then he turns, faces the camera. I'm like,
I was curious because whenever we had talked about it previously that he was coming on the show, I'm like, in what aspect is it going to be? Flashback or is it going to be like, what is it? Because I didn't go in and didn't search for it because I wanted to be surprised. Boy, was I teaming up to fight the group of killers that Talia and all them had put together.
Talia, Prometheus, Captain Boomerang.
I mean, just awesome ragtag group. Just coming and the battles and everything were really cool. I mean, it was just I couldn't think of a better way to end that season except for the gigantic cliffhanger they left us with. And dear God, I'm not.
There was a cliffhanger.
I'm not a fan.
Why are you not a fan?
I'm scared.
Uncertainty. There's going to be some casualties, I think.
There has to be.
And again, spoilers, if you're still watching. I have an idea of who I think is going to die. I think it's going to be 2 people. I think it will be William's mom, because I think that would actually make for a really good dynamic if Oliver has to raise his son, who knows he's the Green Arrow now.
Yeah.
So they can't really do that reveal during season 6. I got a feeling the other one might be Curtis.
It could be Diggle.
That would be pretty ballsy if they killed off Diggle.
I doubt
It would be
they did.
really ballsy if they killed off Felicity. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I think those two are the safest ones out of all of them.
I could see 2 casualties, and then one might be like permanently affected by it.
I think Curtis permanently affected, and I think because they're putting so much emphasis on Mad Dog getting his life together with his daughter and everything like that, I think Mad Dog dies.
I actually really like him.
I do too.
I liked the new team.
Because he's the kid from Coach Carter that gave him all the issues.
And I miss Ragman.
I do too. I liked him a lot.
He needs to get his powers back so he can come back.
Just hit him with another nuclear bomb or something.
Yeah. It was really, really good. I truly think that was I might be a little crazy saying this, but I feel like that was the best Arrow episode, like, in its run.
I feel the same way. It's everything that you wanted in a season finale. It was, perfect runtime. Everything just happened beautifully. Oliver being just completely desperate that he's having to get villains to help him.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It was just one gut punch after another.
Yeah.
It was like season 2 in a way, but to me, season 2 was like, okay, this episode has a big gut punch. Then the next one, another big one happens.
Yep.
This was just several in a row. I mean, you had Malcolm be killed off, which I wasn't a fan of how they did that. I thought it was a little too random.
The mine, yeah.
Yeah. I just felt like that was kind of like they were doing it to try and get shock value. Like, I got him sacrificing himself to save Thea. But
Speaking of Malcolm Merlin, future Pensacon guest coming up.
hopefully by the end of Pensacon, I can say former Derek Diamond Experience guest, John Barrowman.
But I would love nothing more than to have him be a part of this network.
That would be awesome. Really nice guy.
Oh,
I met him at Heroes and Villains Fan Fest in Atlanta back in November. Super nice guy. The complete opposite of his Malcolm Merlin persona.
Yeah, because he's been on Doctor Who, and he's really cool on Who. I mean, he's been on a lot of things. Torchwood.
Yeah. Can't wait to meet him.
I know.
But I wasn't a fan of how they
Yeah.
killed off his character. But then you had the flashback showing him fighting. I kept calling him, I know his name was like Constantine something, but I kept calling him Ivan Drago.
Konstantin Kovar.
Yeah, Kovar, yeah. But it was Dolph Lundgren who was playing the flashback villain, basically. You had the fight with him, and then it would cut to the fight with Prometheus. And you get to see how Oliver got off the island finally. So I'm curious as to what they're going to do with the flashbacks in season 6 as well.
Because we're done with them.
Yeah.
I think we're done with flashbacks from here on out. I know that's a huge part of the show, but there's really nothing to flash back to unless they go to childhood, which would make no sense.
No. I don't know. I could see them maybe doing, like if a certain character is being highlighted in that episode, I could see maybe using flashbacks to flesh out a little more backstory.
Maybe.
But who knows?
Yeah, we'll just have to see what the future holds with Arrow.
And then, of course, the cliffhanger at the end. Oliver's on the boat with Prometheus and his son. Prometheus kills himself, which sets off a huge chain reaction of explosives. The island basically blows up.
Yeah, so there's no more Lee and you.
No. And then Oliver just has to stand and watch as it happens, and that's how Arrow ends.
Know what I just realized? I know for a fact there's going to be one death, but it does not get mentioned.
What?
The Argus guard. He will not be mentioned. He'll be the unsung hero.
R.I.P. Now, I know you haven't seen it yet, but I finished Flash today.
I need to
That
catch up.
has a pretty big cliffhanger, too. I would say, I don't think it's as big as the Arrow one, but
Yeah,
it's
pretty big.
It's pretty close, yeah. The last 2 episodes of Flash are really good.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but next season's not going to have a super fast villain. It's going
Correct. Which I think is a good thing.
I was about to say, because we've had Eobard, we've had
Zoom,
Zoom,
and now Savitar.
I think we're ready to mix it up a little bit. Because, I mean, you look, I think his name's like Mirror Man, Captain Cold, were all, villains that in some way affected the Flash. So, I mean, you don't have to have someone rivaling Flash with speed.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the shows can't get back soon enough, and
no.
And soon I'm gonna watch Legends season 2.
Legends season 2, probably it's definitely my favorite season out of Legends. First season, we got to hunt Vandal Savage. We got tired of that, but one of the big things that I truly enjoyed about that show was Tolkien. We had George Lucas, and we just had some of the most probably, I did say that one of the episodes of Legends was my favorite CW episode ever, but Arrow had to go and change that. But it's definitely a top 3 favorite episode in Legends season 2. So it's the Civil War one. It's touching moments. A lot of really good acting. It's always so awesome to see. The beginning of all the CW shows where the acting is just garbage. But you see them all evolve as actors.
Stephen Amell is way better than he was in season 1. Season 1 was a little rough as far as
acting goes, but everything else is really good. But acting, first season of Supergirl was rough. Love season 2 of Supergirl. I know y'all probably won't ever get into it, but it is good, I promise.
I actually liked her in the Flash musical.
Yeah.
It was a good episode.
She's a good actress. She's, Supergirl is a really good show. A lot of people just didn't give it a chance because the first season was a stretch to get through.
Yeah.
Had its ups and downs.
Yeah.